Morning, and welcome to Squeenie Central. So today, this morning, it is 2 days after 4th of July. I was away for a day and a half, 2 days, so I wasn't in my garden for days, and there's a lot that needs to be done. I have a lot of squash corky bits, and right there are squash bug eggs. And they have to go. So what I am doing is I'm coming out, and there's no way I'm going to catch them all. But I come out, I rip off what I find. This is one of my buckets, actually almost full. I'm gonna have to replace it with another one. But I come and you look under your leaves. So if you have squash, zucchini, oh, there's some right there. They're on top. Usually they're on the bottom, but sometimes they lay them on top. Squash bugs, squash vine borers. You gotta come out, and if you want to stop them from eating your plants as fast as they can, you got to find those eggs, and you have to get rid of them. And if you happen to find a cluster of hatched squash bugs, you got to get rid of those guys. I do this whenever. I usually do it first thing in the morning. I was gone for 2 days, so there's so many other things I need to do, but I definitely want to try to get as many eggs and bugs as I can find. If I can find another bug, I'll show you. Oh, and in that bucket over there is water, and just a little insecticidal soap. I use, oh, look, a patty pan. That one looks done. Let's grab that guy. Let's grab that one. Oh, I think I have to, sorry, gonna have to cut it, so. Ha-ha. Patty pan squash, my first one of the season. These are pretty cool. They taste like squash. Taste like zucchini. And these are the three patty pan squash that grow in bush-like formation. Switching topics all of a sudden. If you look right there, you can kind of see the split. That is one plant. It's got going up, and then there's a branch coming off to this side, and I think it's got a branch up going off to the left as well. So unfortunately, I didn't realize, because I didn't have the patty pan grow last year this well, I didn't realize how they spread. So I had some, I think these are contender beans. They're trying to contend. They're in between the squash and the yellow zucchini, but they kind of are losing. So I'm going to go through and pick. You can see this was like a 2-foot face of beans. I'm going to go through and pick whatever I can today, but I'm actually going to plant a whole bunch of them in the spot that I pulled the garlic. These are the yellow zucchini crookneck squash. You have to check all your squash plants, and it is tedious, and if you have as many as I do, you're going to lose the battle. So what I will end up doing is I am actually going to start some more squash seeds. Oh, there's this crookneck squash back there, not ready. I picked one the other week. Last week was not ready yet. I thought it was. Apparently they need to get a lot bigger than I imagined. Over here, this is the cucuzzelli. Now, there are some plants that are resistant to the squash bugs, but that does not mean the squash bugs won't lay there. Ooh, what happened there? We're going to cut that off. That doesn't mean the squash bugs won't lay their eggs on them. So, even if you know you have, so these are all supposed to be cut anyway. I'm going to have to sit down and come through here and cut all the bottoms off of these guys, because I'm trying to grow them upright. But even if you have, I think cucuzzelli is one of the ones that's resistant to squash bugs. But even if you have plants resistant to squash bugs, you still have to check, because the squash bugs will not have a problem laying their eggs on them. They just won't burrow into them, I believe, which means that, squash bugs that are able to live and then go find your other squash that they actually like to eat. And I'm sorry, my hand's in the way and I can't switch it right now, but squash bugs will suck the juice and life out of your squash. Squash, and so this is the soap I use. And peppermint specifically is nice because it also helps reduce mosquitoes. So like people make those mosquito buckets. This is my mosquito bucket. So here, bucket that I use, because like I said, I just dropped some of the soap in there. I have way too many squash plants. So it's right down this row, squash. But what I'll do is I'll start planting some more, like my new table. squash. So I want to put that down here so that I can move the chair. That's why. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I have like an hour before I need to go try to wake the family up to get ready for church. And then we're going to go blueberry picking today because if you haven't heard, our family eats blueberries like they're going out of style. And technically they will be because stuff on a poor plant. Because come July 20th possibly, or maybe later with where we're going to be picking, there won't be any more blueberries. And we eat blueberries year round. My dog is is a raw fed dog, so he gets blueberries, great for antioxidants for everyone, even dogs. And so, ouch, I burned myself. And so we need blueberries for her every day, technically. And then I also like to eat a handful of frozen blueberries. My oldest son loves frozen blueberries. My daughter loves frozen blueberries. She likes to make stuff with them too, like smoothies and whatnot. So yeah, we need many pounds. Oh, I also wanted to get the ties. We need many pounds. And when I say many, I mean like 35 plus probably pounds of blueberries just to feed my household for a year. So we go picking because when you get them for $2.50 a pound, as opposed to having to pay, how much are they in the store? Like, you get a little quart for like $5. Ha! No, thank you. Can't afford that. So that is one thing we do. That and strawberries, and we didn't get a whole lot of strawberries this year because the season was totally wackadoo. But blueberries is a must. So I told my kids if they don't come pick, they don't get. And me and the dog get to eat them all. But anyway, back to the squash. With these guys, if you haven't noticed, I'm growing them upright. And these ones seem to be doing pretty well. That one plant is a little resistant. But what you're supposed to do is cut off all the bottom leaves. So like, these are all unnecessary. This is what I was trying to do with all this squash over here. And I have the same thing going on with the squash on the other side. But as I'm finding, and I had, I knew it was possible. They don't all grow upright very well. Now, which ones grow upright well? I wasn't sure. And if it says bush, it's not going to grow upright well. And I knew that, but I didn't realize. I should also check when I'm throwing these down. I should also make sure there's no eggs on here, because what I'll do is let these sit here and die, and then we'll compost them. But I want to make sure I'm not leaving eggs on here to hatch. So I'll check that. But what was I saying? The bush variety do not go upright because, well, they're bushes. So, and I didn't realize the patty pan was a bush. I didn't actually read it very well, I guess. And like I said, last year they didn't really grow for me. I did string beans and squash and corn. There's actually a thing called the Three Sisters, where in Native American culture they would grow the corn. So there's some good corn over there with pole beans and squash, because squash will actually lay on the ground and keep growing, because if you get squash vine bugs or borers that kill it, they actually will produce new roots. I can show you. They have one over here it's a winter squash growing up, and it has a root sticking down. I was trimming this guy bad. I think I got it borer in the bottom. I got it last week, but I think it still affected it pretty bad. Squash vine borers are worse than bugs, I think, because the borers, their larva hatches, it gets in. I'm trying to find that root to show you. I was on the other side. And the squash vine borers get into the plant stem, suck all the juice out that way, and you can't even tell there's one unless you see. So this right here would be a root. If this was on the ground, that would grow into the ground, and you'd have more roots going. So to plant the squash on the ground, if you have that kind of room, is great, because even if a squash vine borer gets in one section, the plant itself will send out new roots, sort of like a tomato plant. Right there, if you look, there's a bug, but right there on this plant here, bug eggs. So yeah, I got that one, but look at this. Am I really going to be able to get in there? The bed ends about 3 feet in front of me, and there are vines all over the ground with fruit. So I don't want to step on them. There's a female flower right there. Bees everywhere this morning. I love it. And no, bees don't bother me. These are the honey bumblebees for the most part, and they will fly around you. I'll be sticking my hands right near them. They're pretty gentle. Regular honeybees are. Stick that in the water. So they don't bother me. But look how cool that looks now. That keeps airflow, helps prevent powdery mildew. So these are the Koozie Kelly, and apparently going upright, these guys upright, works pretty well. I don't know what's up with this one though. It might have gained a Brandy, you were gone too long disease, because they're getting kind of hard and crisp. I've never seen that before. So we're just gonna cut these off. But this is also why I will start planting new squash plants, because they don't last forever. But I already got, I think, one off this one. I haven't gotten any off of these guys, which is, I don't know. It's like the biggest one here. This one seems to be okay. This one in front is the one that looks to be having problems. And I don't know if this string bean was supposed to be a bush bean. This is the provider bean, I believe. But for whatever reason, it looks like it's more of a traveling provider bean. That's like a pole bean thing. I don't know if it's strangling it. I don't know what's happening. But I'm just going to tie this up right here and cut off some lower pieces. I don't have my stand. Let's see if I can actually keep it so you can see it. And if I can't, I'll just show you when I'm done. I don't think I can. Hold on. Alright, so all I did was cut off all the lower limbs, all the lower leaves. Made sure they didn't have eggs on them. Put them in my dye pile. And then I added this tie. Now on my squash plants, I use these rubber foam coated wire ties because they're easy to put on. You cut, you twist, and it'll hold your plant up. If you were watching if you've seen some of my earlier videos this season, I have that plastic gun thing, which is great when these are small, but it's not great. See how that's super stretchy? I've had several snap. They're not great for squash, because squash is really strong and hardy. I use it on the tomato plants and it works great. The gun with the plastic ties, and I like it because I can get in there and just snip. Oh god, wait, I'll do a video on me pruning my tomato plants next, because I was gone for 3 days and yikes. I need to do that next. But this is what I'm doing for my squash. So if you have squash, zucchini, winter squash, go out now. It is a time of year. Check for those eggs. They can be red, they can be yellow. I believe yellow is the borer eggs. Now, I did do a preventative of nematodes, beneficial nematodes in my garden this year in the spring. I think that helped a lot. I also let my chickens into the garden in the fall and the winter and early spring. I have a spray bottle that I think I mentioned like 5 minutes ago that has water and the Castile peppermint soap in it as well, that if I see live bugs that I can't catch, I spray it on them. Ooh. Gotta find what I did with the bottle. Because I was gonna start over here on these plants, but my seat was over there with those plants, so I just started over there. Oh my goodness. I think this is a good size garden. Not too big, not too small. I don't know about not too big. But yeah, you don't want to do too much of the spraying of the Castile because it will dry out your plants in some way. So hand picking is the best thing, best option. But if you find a cluster of, especially like the squash bugs, when they hatch, they're these little white bugs with black legs. And when they hatch, you'll see hundreds of them, 50, hundreds of them, depending on how many eggs there were, just sitting on a piece of leaf. And if you don't have a bucket with you or nearby, you could spray them and that'll kill them. It messes with their neurological system and kills them. So I have it just in case I need it. Yeah, so let me see if I can trim up this one in the back. And then I think I'm going to, I say I'm going to move on, but I probably won't. So, excuse me. Thank you for joining me and have a blessed day. Please subscribe and share. I'm going to try to make sure I do more specific tips when I'm out in my garden because I do know a lot. I just tend to ramble. So hopefully you'll join me. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Bye.